Hi, hello, my dear students. This is your Prasanna Harikrishna sir, Assistant Professor of Botany, SRR Government Arts and Science College, Karimnagar. So in the last session, we have gone through, different concepts of, photosynthetic mechanism. In the last session, we have seen, red drop method and, photophosphorylation. This is, today's topic. Clear? So photophosphorylation. So what does it mean? So phosphorylation, nothing but I have told you during our discussion about respiratory mechanism. So phosphorylation nothing but formation of ATP. Okay, so formation or production of ATP is known as phosphorylation. So phosphorylation means addition of phosphate in order to formation of ATP. Clear? Then photophosphorylation, photo nothing but what? Photo always indicates light. So photo means light. Means photophosphorylation means formation or production of ATP in the presence of light. In the presence of sunlight is called as photophosphorylation. Simple definition. Okay. So this particular concept was put forth by Daniel Arnon. Okay, so Daniel Arnon came forward with a concept called photophosphorylation. Clear? Phosphorylation nothing but formation or production of ATP. So photo means light. So ATP is formed whenever the light is present or light is available. Clear? For example, if you see the equation ADP, that is adenosine diphosphate, and PI nothing but inorganic phosphates. So inorganic phosphate nothing but phosphate molecule. Okay, so whenever ADP is combined with inorganic phosphate or you can say phosphate in the presence of HNU, that is sunlight. So whenever the sunlight is available and whenever the phosphate and ADP is available, these two compounds come together and they combine together in the presence of sunlight in order to formation of energy molecule called ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. Okay, so this process can be called as photophosphorylation. Now this photophosphorylation can be categorized into two basic types. One is cyclic photophosphorylation, cyclic photophosphorylation, and the second one is non-cyclic or acyclic. So non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So these are the two types of photophosphorylation. Clear? So cyclic photophosphorylation, cyclic nothing but cycle manner, round shaped. For example, so in this phosphorylation, electrons are moved through different electron carriers, receivers and donors. Then electron comes back to the first compound. For example, this is compound A, or you can say photosystem 1 or photosystem 2. Clear? So this photosystem or compound A loses an electron. This electron moves through the different electron donors and receivers, and finally this electron reaches this particular A, substance A, or you can say photosystem 1 or 2. So it happens in a cycle manner. It occurs in a cycle manner in the plant systems. This can be called as what? Cyclic photophosphorylation. We will discuss in detail about how the electron moves from one substance to another substance. Clear? Then come to non-cyclic. Non nothing but what? There is no cyclic manner. Means, for example, this is compound A, this is compound B, right? So this compound A loses electron. This electron moves through different systems or different carriers, and this electron reaches substance B. Okay, so means this electron does not back to the substance A. Means electron is lost from the substance A and finally it reaches to substance B. So this electron does not move back to the substance A. So nothing but this is not cyclic, this is a cyclic or non-cyclic electron transport mechanism. Okay, so this kind of mechanism can be called as non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So whenever the electron moves, whenever the electron is moving through different systems or different complexes, there will be formation of ATP. So there is receiving of what is this, HNU, that is called as light energy. So whenever it reaches, it receives light energy in the form of light, so it lost, electron. This electron moves through different concepts. So in the middle of this particular moment, ATP is formed. Okay, so ATP is formed whenever the sunlight is available. So this can be called as what? Non-cyclic. Here also ATP is formed, but the movement of electrons is cyclic manner. Okay, that can be called as what? Cyclic photophosphorylation. Okay, now we will discuss one by one in detail. For example, first we go with non-cyclic photophosphorylation, which is very important than cyclic photophosphorylation. Clear? So we'll discuss non-cyclic photophosphorylation first. So I will draw the diagram first. I will rub it once. So this is two types of electron transport system. So where it occurs, where it takes place, this takes place in the thylakoids, right? The thylakoids. Okay, so whenever you see the structure of thylakoids, for example, this is the structure of thylakoids. There are different photosystems. Different photosystems are available in thylakoid membranes. For example, this is PS1, you can see this is PS2. So photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. Clear? So in non-cyclic photophosphorylation, so these two systems, photosystem 1 and 2 are involved. Okay, so photosystem 1 and photosystem 2, or you can say pigment system 1, pigment system 2. So both the systems are involved in non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Then how these two systems are involved in non-cyclic photophosphorylation, so will be discussed in detail, right? So if I cut this membrane, right, if I cut this membrane, so it looks like this. This is the diagrammatic representation. Right, so this is a diagrammatic representation of so this is plastoquinone. Okay, so then there is one more system. This is site B6 and site F, and this one is right. So this is LHC1, this is LHC2, this is P680, this is P700. Okay, this is iron sulfur protein. So iron sulfur protein, this is FD, ferredoxin. So ferredoxin, so I'll draw this arrow in this manner. This is NADP, This is NADPH. So finally we have got oxysome, right? So this is all about diagrammatic representation of what's non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So when you see, so this is what H2O, so 2 protons plus half O2, then 2 electrons are also formed, right? So whenever it receives sunlight, this is H nu. So whenever it receives sunlight, the sunlight finally received by P680, then these electrons are moved to pheophytin. Then these electrons are shifted to plastoquinone, right? So during the shifting of electrons, so 4 protons, 2 protons from here and two protons from here, okay? So 2 plus 2, 2 protons plus 2 protons. So 4 protons move to complex, that is oxysome. Then this electron travels to cytochrome B6, cytochrome F, and there is PC called plastocyanin. Then these electrons are finally reaches to P700, and LH1 also receives H nu, that is sunlight, and these electrons, this sunlight is moved to chlorophyll A, that is P700, then electron moves to iron sulfur protein. So finally this is a concept. Then so for every 3 protons through the oxysome, okay, there will be a formation of ATP. So ADP plus PI, okay. So this is diagrammatic representation. For example, where it happens in the thylakoid membrane. So if it is thylakoid, for example, this is what? Chloroplast. These are the thylakoids. What about the remaining portion? Remaining portion can be called as what? Stroma. Okay, this is lumen. This is lumen. This is what? Stroma. Okay, so this is stroma, this is lumen. Means this is lumen, right? So this is stroma. So stroma of chloroplast, lumen of thylakoid, that is also chloroplast. Okay, so this is all about complete diagrammatic representation of what? Non-cyclic photophosphorylation, right? I will rub it and I will explain in detail. Right, see, so first of all we have to discuss about some of the carriers and some of the complexes of non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So we will discuss in detail. So what is this? LHC, LHC2 and LHC1. So first compounds or complex structure, that is LHC, okay. Then second one is what? Pheophytin. Then third one is plastoquinone, PQ. Then the fourth one is cytochrome B6 and F. Site B6 and F. Then PC, plastocyanin. And ferredoxin, FD, ferredoxin, And then oxysome already we have discussed in detail in respiratory mechanism, while we are discussing about electron transport system in respiratory mechanism. Clear? So these are the different complexes, and one more, that is OEC is also there. OEC. Okay, so these are the complexes which are present in the thylakoid membranes, which involve in non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Clear? So first of all, we have to look at these complexes. We have to get a clarity over these particular concepts. Then we will see how the electrons move from one complex to another complex. Okay, so first of all, first concept, that is LHC. LHC stands for light harvesting complex. Light harvesting complex. So light harvesting complex, nothing but harvesting means receiving complex. Okay, so this particular LHC, light harvesting complexes, are two types. This is LHC1. LHC1 is associated with what? P700. P700 nothing but photosystem 1. Okay, have told you the detailed differentiation between photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 in my last session. Okay, so LHC1, light harvesting complex 1, it is associated with photosystem 1. The reaction center of photosystem 1 is P700. Okay, there is another LHC complex, that is LHC2. It is associated with photosystem 2. The reaction center of the photosystem 2 will be P680. Okay, now what happens in this particular complex, light harvesting complex? It receives sunlight. Okay, what is the duty of light harvesting complex? It receives sunlight. Here also you can see the sunlight receiving. Okay, so now this LHC is composed with different two parts. For example, this is the core part. The core part of LHC, then followed by 1, 2 and 3. So 3 polypeptide chains. Okay, so these 3 are the polypeptide chains. This is PP, means polypeptide chain and polypeptide chain. Okay, so core is there. Core is made up of two proteins, namely D1 protein and D2 proteins. Okay, so core is made up of two proteins. One is D1 and D2. So D1 molecular weight is 32 kd, 32 kilodaltons of molecular weight is there with D1, and D2 has 34 kd, that is kilodaltons of molecular weight. Okay, so this is core. Core is made up of what? Two proteins. One protein is D1 and another protein is D2. So D1's molecular weight is 32 kilodaltons and D2 molecular weight is 34 kilodaltons. Okay, then core is surrounded by peripheral region, peripheral part. Peripheral part is made up of 3 polypeptide chains. Okay, so 3 polypeptide chains are there with core region. So this is structure of LHC, light harvesting complex. It receives light. So primarily this entire structure is made up of what? Chlorophyll molecules plus what remains, what is there along with chlorophyll molecules, that is accessory pigments. Accessory pigments are what? Carotenes and xanthophylls. So carotenes and xanthophylls. So yesterday I have told you carotenes are there with LHC1, that is photosystem 1, whereas xanthophylls are there with LHC2, means photosystem 2. So basically every light harvesting complex is composed with these two units, core and peripheral region. So all the core and peripheral region is composed with what? Chlorophyll molecules and accessory pigments or protective pigments. Accessory or protective pigments are of two types. One is keratins and the xanthophylls. Keratins are associated with LHC1 or photosystem 1, whereas xanthophylls are associated with photosystem 2 or LHC2. Clear? So this is all about, LHC, light harvesting complex. Then second, pheophytin. So pheophytin has, this is, pheophytin, this is the first electron receiver. So first electron receiver of whom? This is what? Photosystem 2. Okay. So first electron receiver of photosystem 2 is pheophytin. Okay. So pheophytin looks like chlorophyll molecule. So it looks like chlorophyll molecule. Nothing but what? There is, porphyrin ring and phytol tail. This is a tail that is called as phytol. This is the ring called porphyrin ring. Okay. So in the middle of the porphyrin ring we have magnesium atom in chlorophyll. But in pheophytin there is no magnesium. Remember, in pheophytin we have hydrogens. So we have H plus hydrogens in the middle of the porphyrin ring, but in chlorophyll structure there is a magnesium atom or magnesium molecule in the middle of the porphyrin structure. Okay, so this is the major difference between chlorophyll structure and pheophytin. Clear? Then come to plastoquinone. Okay, so in respiratory mechanism we have seen ubiquinone. So ubiquinone cycle is there na in respiratory mechanism, electron transport. Ubiquinone becomes ubiquinol, ubiquinol becomes semi-ubiquinone, semi-ubiquinone again becomes into ubiquinone. Okay, in the same manner, so we have PQ stands for plastoquinone. So this is PHEO stands for pheophytin. This is pheophytin. So PQ stands for plastoquinone. Plastoquinone is a cycle, it involves in the cyclic manner. So plastoquinone modifies into PQH2. So PQH2 nothing but what? For example, this is plastoquinone. Okay, so plastoquinone, this is plastoquinone. Then plastoquinone becomes into PQH2. PQH2 nothing but plastoquinol, and means reduced form of plastoquinone. Reduced form of plastoquinone can be called as PQH2, that is plastoquinol. Then if it loses hydrogens or you can say protons, then it becomes into PQ minus. So PQ minus stands for semi-plastoquinone. Semi-plastoquinone. Then semi-plastoquinone finally modifies into PQ, that is plastoquinone. Okay, so it happens in a cyclic manner in the thylakoid membranes. Okay, so this is about third structure. Then come to fourth one, cytochrome B6 and F. Cytochrome B6 and F. This is one of the electron receiver. So this is one of the electron receiver, that is cytochrome B6 and F. So cytochrome F is also called as, this is what? Cytochrome B6 and cytochrome F. Cytochrome F is also called as cytochrome C. Cytochrome C. So generally this cytochrome B6 and F, this entire complex has, it can be divided into two types, that is site B6 and F, site B6 and F1 and site B6 and F2. So this site B6 F1 has 552 kd, that is kilodaltons of molecular weight. Then it has 554 kilodaltons of molecular weight. So if you remember, you can remember, otherwise you can leave it. Clear? So this is about cytochrome B6 and F. Then come to fifth one, that is plastocyanin. So plastocyanin, remember, whenever the term cyana comes, it indicates blue color. Okay, so means this is a plastocyanin. It receives electrons and it moves, it loses the electrons. Okay, so plastocyanin is attached to the thylakoid membrane and it is located towards the lumen. Okay, remember. So plastocyanin is a membrane bound protein, membrane bound structure. Plastocyanin attaches to the thylakoid membrane, but it is located towards the lumen. Okay, so then cyana indicates blue color, means this plastocyanin, remember plastocyanin is having 2 copper molecules. Okay, so 2 copper molecules are there in plastocyanin. Due to presence of copper molecules, it is there in blue color. Right, of course, it has 2 colors. One is colorless and the second one is colorful, that is blue color. Okay, so when it appears colorless, when it appears colorful, remember whenever it is oxidized in state, whenever the plastocyanin is in oxidized state, it attains color, that is blue color. Whenever it loses color, means whenever it is in reduced form, so it appears to be colorless. Okay, so these are the colors of plastocyanin. So one of the type is colorless, that is whenever the plastocyanin attains blue color, it becomes colorful, means when it attains blue color, whenever it is in oxidized form. Okay, whenever the plastocyanin is reduced form, so it becomes into colorless. Okay, so this is plastocyanin. Then come to 6th one, that is ferredoxin. So ferredoxin is nothing but non-heme compounds. So it does not have any heme substance. This is a non-heme compound in the non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So this is what ferredoxin. So here ferredoxin involves in the formation or conversion of NADP into NADPH or NADPH2. Okay, so it involves in the conversion of NADP into NADPH. So this is a role of ferredoxin. Then come to final one, that is OEC. OEC stands for oxygen evolving complex. So oxygen evolving complex, evolving nothing but what? Formation or creation or production. Okay, so this is OEC. So this is a complex which is attached to the thylakoid membrane. Basically it attaches to the thylakoid membrane, but it is located towards the lumen. Okay, so remember I have already given you the information about lumen. Lumen has abundant of water molecules, hence lumen is considered as the reservoir for water. So this is a water. So water gets broken down, and there is formation of protons as well as oxygen. Okay, so in the presence of OEC, so whenever the OEC is involved, then water gets broken down and there is a formation of oxygen. Hence, this OEC is called as oxygen evolving complex. Evolving nothing but production or creation or formation. So, oxygen is formed whenever the OEC is active. Okay, so this is about all the systems or all the complexes which are there in the thylakoid membrane which involve in non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Clear? So this is today's session. In tomorrow's or next session we will see how the electrons move from one location to another location. Thank you one and all.